Tonight we're going to be building a chicken coop door. Now the door, there's a temporary panel over the top of it right now. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to make a circle. The top half of the circle will be closed and the bottom half will be exposed. So when the circle rotates, chickens will be able to walk in. When it rotates back, locks into place, then it'll be closed up for the night. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. Now, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to use this pallet here as, a mounting block for the wheel for experimental purposes. The reason why I do that is because if we make a door and put it on the chicken coop tonight, find out it doesn't work, then we're going to have to screw a temporary panel over it so it doesn't remain open overnight. We're going to go ahead and use this pallet here to mount our chicken coop door. Now, I was able to procure some wooden reels here from my work. So these are going to be part of the door, but not the entire door. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to trace onto here, and then I'll cut this out, and then the motor shaft will mount onto that, and then this will mount onto the back, and then the solenoid will lock this into place. It'll become very evident in the very near future exactly what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and just trace this circular pattern out onto the board here. Alright. Do it close to the edge, then there's less cutting to do. And to cut this, we'll use a jigsaw. The reason why it's called a jigsaw is because you can move it around a lot. But it works good for cutting circles, which is what we're going to need to do here. So we're going to go ahead and bring this outside and start cutting it up. It's always a good idea to cut wood outside because it gets pretty dirty. You definitely want to have the proper clothing on for it as well, because you don't want to get, sawdust in your mouth or your face or your hair or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and clamp it down here. You certainly need electricity to run a jigsaw. I mean, you could try to manually run it, but it doesn't really work out so good. So it's just a good idea just to use the electricity. So, let's go ahead and get started then. Alright, now we got a piece over here. It'll be actually, I forget what I just said. Let's just continue cutting this section off here. Alright. So we still got a little bit more to cut left onto this circle part here. Now we shouldn't need this piece anymore. Alright, let's see here. start from this side and kind of work our way in. You want a fairly close to perfect circle. I mean, there's a few anomalies. If we have problems with those anomalies later on, then we'll fix them, but for now, this will work to move on. Now, to give you a better perspective, we want to mount the motor probably about right here, and then it's going to spin around. So we're just going to go ahead and next step will be attach the motor to the pallet here. Alright, so what we need to do here is attach these boards to the back of the pallet. That'll allow us to mount the motor properly. So we need to go ahead and fasten these from the other side. So just go ahead and do that here. 1 second. Alright, now gotta lift this up here. Okay, let's see here. Alright, right about there, it looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit higher here. Alright, that should be good. We're going to put in start these 4 screws here. Alright, now we got to put this board on. Okay, let's see here. Gotta get it about center there. So we can put this screw, fasten this one down, and this one here. Now these ones were misplaced, so let's go ahead and move it over a bit here. Alright, so we got the boards mounted on here, which is where the motor is going to mount. And we're going to go ahead and drill a circular hole in here with a circular saw. So we're going to go ahead and get that. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, now as you can see here, we got a drill with the circular bit. So we're just going to go ahead and see, we got the motor right here. So the motor is supposed to be the same diameter. So we're going to go ahead and drill a circular hole inside this part here. Now it's important to get this as straight as you can, otherwise it makes drilling a little tenuous at best. So let's just go ahead and give this another shot here. Alright, so we got the 2.5 inch board out. Now that we got the 2.5 inch board out, we're able to clear this part. So we only had to clear that part. So for the rest of the boards, we only have to find a circular saw bit that'll fit that. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. We'll be back. Alright, it appears that this paddle bit will suffice for our application. Right about there. So let's go ahead and use this to finish off the hole. Alright, now, probably want to clean that out just a little bit there. Alright, that should be good. So we got our motor, we're just supposed to slide right onto that there, and then we should have the shaft coming out on the other end here, which appears we do. Not by much though, so that's a bit disheartening. So we're probably going to have to it looks like we may have to cut out a little on the top here, just so that we got a bit more travel with the shaft. See exactly how much space we got here. Yeah, not too much. I'm going to go ahead and devise a strategy to rectify that issue. Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slip this board underneath here and then drill the pilot hole for this one. The board's a little thinner than the one in there, so let's go ahead and pull this one out of there. Alright. we got to get that board and then this other one too. Which is in there pretty solid, so let's go ahead and pound her out. Alright, let's see here. Okay, now, this new board, we want it about right there. So let's go ahead and tighten this one down. At least get it started. Now this one's a little thinner, so we got to be a bit more careful. Alright. Now those other two screws fell into the barrel, so we got to get some more. Well, at least if they're in the barrel, there shouldn't be any concern of stepping on them. So let's go ahead and stick one about right here. Make sure that one didn't. That one might have went a little too far, but we'll check that later. All right, now we gotta. Now we can place the pilot hole on here. Well, technically, I guess it's not a pilot hole. It's just a hole. Shaft hole, I guess you could call it. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, it looks like it made it through. The bit fell off though, as you can clearly see. So let's go ahead and pull this off and stick this one on. Now, so we're going to want to tighten. We're going to want to tighten this board on here, but try to get it center with the hole we got. So let's go ahead and pull the pallet off this barrel here. Now that was the old board that fell. No biggie. Alright. Okay, so we want to get this fairly close to center of the hole we just cut. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but as close as we can get it. There it is. That's probably a better perspective. Alright. So right about there it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and tighten the screws. Alright. And these bottom two. Alright. Well, the screw poked me a little bit, but no harm, no foul. Okay. Now let's see if the motor is properly mounts onto here this time. Alright, that looks a lot better. Now we got this ground screw here. The ground screw. Let me get it closer. So we have a ground screw here. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove that for now, because it's, well, actually no, we can drill a pilot hole out. So then we'll drill out a hole so then the screw can rest in the hole. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and grab the proper bit. All right. So basically, just on the edge here, we're gonna cut a hole to accompany that grounding screw there. Alright, let's try that out right there. Let me try something else here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take off just a bit of the edge here. Alright. Now, that should rectify the issue. So the problem was, I put the hole where the ground, if the ground screw was to set there, the other holes would not be lined up with their proper mounting positions. Now it appears much more suitable. So yeah, it looks like we can just go ahead and mount the motor now. Let me grab a couple of screws for that. Actually, well, yeah, let's just go ahead and mount the motor. So we really only need 3/4-inch screws. Alright. I'll just shove it on there. Okay, right about there is where it needs to be. Let's get the first one started. That'll kind of hold it into place. We can get another one started down here. Alright, so I gotta make sure the ground is properly lined up with that hole. So that looks pretty good there. So let's go ahead and tighten these down. And the one on the top here. Alright. And then we got 2 more to lock down. And one of these, oh, there it is. The screw happened to fall down, so let's go ahead and lock that in too. Alright, now you can go ahead and see there's the shaft for the motor. So it's just going to spin just like that. Pretty simple stuff. So now we're going to have to cut that circle, and we'll have to cut it into a perfect circle. So we're going to go ahead and move this out of the way, and I'll go grab that quick. Be right back. Alright, now we got to cut a circle, or got to cut a hole, preferably about right in the middle of this thing here. So what you usually do is you put your ruler on the edge, kind of drag it around until you get to the longest point, which is about 22 inches. So the center of the ruler is on the edge here. So about 22 inches is right there. Now we'll mark it at 11. So then we got to do it on over here somewhere too. So about 22. Right about there is where we got our mark. And let's see, try to match it up with some of the others. So that looks fairly close. May not be perfect, but it's pretty close. So let's go ahead and drill a hole here, 3/8 inch hole. Alright, now we're going to see if this mounts onto the shaft. Alright, so we got the shaft here. We're just going to go ahead and shove it on there. Try to at least. So there we have it. Now, yeah, that's basically what it's going to do. Now before getting too carried away with getting the stepper motor on the actual door, I want to make sure to bench test this equipment, because it is slightly complex, and if you miss one wire, bad things can happen. So it's a good idea to always bench test things. And as you can see here, we have this hooked up to an Arduino circuit. Really easy for hobbyists. A lot of sample code out there too. So what it does now is it's rotating this motor at 5 revolutions per minute, and it goes in one direction halfway, and then it reverses direction. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, so that's about the speed that you want the door to operate. That way it won't inadvertently behead any animals moving in and out of the facilities. So yeah. Here the circuit is all hooked up. Just a regular H bridge with the Arduino circuit board controller deal and hooked up to the computer. So once we get this all outside, we'll hook it up to a solder board, something like this. So the Arduino pretty sure they all have the same IC chip. So we just need to get one of those IC chips, solder it on a board like this, solder on that chip down there, and then, well, we do have a power supply here, 5-volt power supply off an old cell phone, so probably need that hooked up in some way, shape, or form too. But yeah, I mean, the Arduino test board is good for benchtop testing and all that good fun stuff. So once we get this on a solder board, then we can put it in some box and then just go ahead and hook it up outside somewhere. So let's go ahead and do that then.